Bailey was trying to get there before because this does lead into our other topic. And if you want to kind of take it away and fucking introduce that topic a little bit. So
yes, I can introduce that next topic. Florida is going crazy again. Now some of their stances are not super crazy.
We've talked about Florida a couple times on this podcast.
I know.
They're wild out there.
I mean, they do whatever the fuck they want.
Mm-hmm.
Florida man.
Yeah, Ron DeSantis, he's the Florida man. But Florida just introduced 2 bills. There's probably multiple bills that they introduced, but the 2 that I'm going to talk about are Bill 254 and Bill 99. And Bill 254, they're trying to make it a law, basically, that you cannot, or if you go into a doctor's office, it doesn't matter if you're gay, black, straight, white. Mm-hmm. The doctor can tell you, I'm not going to take care of you.
Okay.
Which is illegal. Like, if you did that in Ohio, it's illegal. But they're making a bill where that's legal now, where you can say, a doctor can be like, no, I don't stand for what you stand for.
Okay, so real quick, let me stop you. Do we want to introduce? Does the other bill is it coincide with this bill too? So you want to introduce that one first before we get into it, or do you want to just start talking about that?
Yeah, I mean, I can. Yeah, all right. So Bill 99 is a bill for. They're basically in colleges. They're banning Jewish studies. They're banning feminist theory and gender studies. So gender studies was a thing in college where people would take to fucking fuck off and not it was just a class that they would take, but they're banning it because everything goes together with transgenders.
Yeah.
They don't want transgenders in their community, which, whatever, fine. But they're also banning and this coincides with the other bill, the 254 bill. They are if you have a child that is transgender, and yes, I don't really agree if the child is super young, but if the child's like 17, and they want to transition, if they want to do that, okay,
it's their right.
It's all right.
Why not just, if they're 17, why not wait 6 months, 8 months?
I mean, they could, yes, but they are taking kids away from this bill will make them be able to take kids away from their parents because they're not
deemed fit to raise them.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Honestly,
I mean,
because it's let them be adults and decide for themselves. Doing anything to a kid like that is technically harming their well-being.
For that specific instance, I would agree. If you're putting your own viewpoints, making your kid trans or fucking gay or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Even if the kid feels that way on his own, his or her own, whatever.
Well, if it's their decision, that's cool. But until you're 18 years old, you're not deemed mentally competent to be able to make that decision.
I agree with that standpoint, but I also agree that you can raise your kid however you want. I was beat as a kid. You can raise your kid however you want, and
you can raise your kid however you want to, but at the same time, we do have child laws that protect.
Laws.
Yeah, and I would argue that forcing your kid to take fucking chemicals that change their entire
What do you think a parent is actually forcing their kid to do it, or do you think that the kid is like, man,
yes,
I want to do this?
I think that there are kids that fucking want to push the trans agenda, or parents that want to push the trans agenda so much that they would force their kid to fucking take estrogen and change their physiological makeup.
That's not right.
I do not believe in that.
I don't think that's every parent. So
no, it's not.
I before this podcast, I got off the phone with my cousin, who is a gay man in Florida. He's lived there for a few years now. And I was asking him, because I don't live in Florida, but I'm gay, but I don't live in Florida. I don't know what's going on in Florida. Because they have the top equality foundation in Florida has enacted a travel advisory for LGBTQ plus people not to go there.
KLG fucking,
KGB,
all that. Yeah, all that.
KGB.
Who are plus people? Who are plus people? I don't know them.
That's just how you say it.
Plus people?
To be honest with you, I'm a lesbian and I don't know.
It's LGBTQ plus.
It's IA.
Who's the plus?
Well,
who's the plus people?
That's what the plus is supposed to be for, so that way anything else that wants to feel added to it is added to
it. Well, they try to,
here's the thing.
That was my
if you really
joke.
want to
I knew
get down,
that,
if you really want to get down to the acronym, fucking G If you're lesbian and bi, you're gay. Fucking, if you're fucking trans, that's different. But fucking a lesbian and fucking is a gay person. A bisexual is a gay person who's also straight.
We're just gonna call you guys weird people.
That's
or
what
aliens.
See, that's the issue that fucking so many people have with the whole LGBT community. They just want to fucking make so many subsects of the fucking thing and add all kinds of letters. It just makes it fucking confusing.
Ooh, forcing other people to feel that way. Like if you feel that way, great. Nobody cares. But like trying to force other people like to go by your lifestyle is what doesn't make any fucking sense.
And I think that's what the entire bill, the 99 bill, right? I think that's what it's trying to prevent, is to fucking have this whole push towards that community.
Well, I mean, gender studies has been in curriculum for a long time.
That I don't get.
And
fucking
female studies
taken away.
I don't understand the Jewish one. Why are we taking the Jewish out?
Well,
like
if you look, that might have to do with the whole like fucking Florida kind of has some like super hardcore like Republican type people, and fucking they're all about the Zionist Jews are controlling and shit like that.
Well,
we did a whole podcast on
control the media and all that.
No, the thing is though is that like yes, parents should not push their kids to be trans, but I don't think a lot of parents are pushing their kids to be trans. Like, I mean, I knew I was gay when I was young.
Right.
So how am I to say that the person that wants to become a boy has not felt that way since they were young?
But that's fine. You can feel that way for like 10 more years and then get the change
that's
when
like,
you're an adult and can make decisions.
That's
for
like
yourself.
you telling me that I should have stayed in the closet till I was 18.
No, not at all. Not even remotely.
No.
You're still
because
gay,
one's a
but
thought, the other one is a transition from an actual
doing,
body part.
That's like saying,
they don't all do the transition with their
I knew
body
I
parts.
liked alcohol when
Not
I was
all of
14,
them,
so I should get to drink. No, there's a reason why you're not allowed to have access
point.
to alcohol when you're a kid.
Correct.
Not everybody is like all the kids. There's probably a few that are getting the surgeries, but you don't have to get a surgery to become transgender.
Yeah, I know.
You
Yes, I don't understand.
and you don't
that.
even have to take even have to take estrogen or take testosterone to become transgender. I mean, at that point you're a cross-dresser technically.
Yeah.
But if it's a little kid and they want to dress in if say it's a little boy and they want to be put in a dress, but those people are say parents are divorced, okay? Mm. Dad lives in Florida and has summer custody.
Right.
Mom lives in Connecticut and has full custody technically, but the kid goes to Florida for the summer. So the dad can go now to the court and say, hey, my wife is trying to transition my son. I don't want that to happen.
Mm-hmm. And then he can win custody, essentially?
Yeah. So say the kid is like say it's a little boy that wants to dress in a dress and the dad doesn't want him to dress in a dress.
Yeah. Well, that I take up issue with, fucking, because you shouldn't be able to win custody over that.
Yes, but that's what this bill is going to happen. This is something, the ramification that can come from this bill.
No, there's a lot of people that don't like their home situation, and that's fine. The day you turn 18, you get out, and there's actually laws in place where you can get out early. Like what is somebody here's got to know the term. What the hell is the damn term? Where you get
Is that the last one?
Yeah.
Where you can claim to be an adult or a responsible party before you're emancipated.
You can drink a Bud Light. You're not going to be sucking dick afterwards. It's just a beer. Drink a Bud Light, man. It tastes no different than it did before.
But apparently there's only one.
It tastes no different than what it did before.
Pour that
just
into
beer.
a glass and put some salt in it. I promise you'll like your life a lot better.
It's just beer. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I feel gay.
I mean, you looked gay before it, so.
Thank you.
Transition's now complete.
Hey, gay people got style. But
anyway, continue on.
Back around.
I keep fucking shit up. I'm sorry.
No, the bill that they're placing needs to have a little bit more. They need to change it a little bit, because that is the ramifications that can happen from this bill.
The thing
and it will hurt kids more than it will help kids.
The thing that I don't like about it is like where if a doctor can say that he's not gonna allow someone to be their patient because of X, Y, or Z. Like that's like okay, like you're coming in on an ambulance and you're fucking dying, and then the doctor's like, nope, he's gay.
That's not
okay.
happen.
Here's my thing on that. Okay. Here's my thing on that. Fucking when it comes down to it, I think people should be able, freedom of choice. I think that they should be able to make whatever decision they want. As a doctor, I think that you have the right to fucking not cure or fucking treat anybody. I think that you have that right. But every single doctor has to take the fucking Hippocratic Oath, and any self-respecting doctor is not going to fucking deny someone fucking surgery or whatever the fuck they need because of a fucking law. If they're a doctor, they fucking know at heart there's a reason why they're a doctor. And fucking when it comes down to it, if you're a gay person in Florida, there's not going to be a fucking hospital that you go to where someone's not going to treat you. Like, not because maybe 1 or 2 out of 100 doctors are like, oh, he's gay, I'm not going to fucking treat him, doesn't mean that the 98 other fucking doctors will.
Well, see,
I know, but it's still, so there are doctors that are really far left, there's doctors that are really far right.
That's
so
fine.
A doctor that's really far right, I don't think that like you said, they take an oath to become a doctor.
Exactly.
They take that oath to help whoever they need to treat.
That oath as a doctor, this has nothing to do with the fucking law that fucking is in their state. Fucking the Hippocratic Oath says that they fucking have a duty to treat whoever is fucking brought to them.
Now this law is going to be enacted
makes
into...
it political now.
I mean,
yeah.
It makes it political.
Hold on
An oath is not political. It should not be political.
Exactly.
You are a doctor and a doctor.
And you're right.
Nothing because what you believe and whatever else somebody else believes. It's like the show MASH, man. When they used to back in the day, that show MASH that Alan Alda did. It's like those guys were helping North Koreans. That
happens a lot on the battlefield.
Yeah, but it's like that's the way it should be because you are sacrificing for others to do what you can as a doctor. That's what you do.
You're right.
That's the way it should be.
You're right. They're making it political.
Correct.
However, the oath is above politics. Fucking, you're not allowed to.
It should be.
You're not allowed to, as a doctor, fucking discuss a diagnosis that if I'm your doctor and I fucking diagnose you, you're not allowed to fucking discuss that type of shit.
I can't do that as a realtor.
It goes outside of politics, so that's why I don't see this one having much of an impact.
Well, see, the thing about it is, like, if even if they try to pass something like that, if that goes against federal law, then it doesn't matter. Like,
and I also think
the federal law overrides states' rights on so many issues.
Let me also bring this part of it up. I think a lot of this also protects fucking doctors from not wanting to do something that they don't deem right, not necessarily saving someone's life. For instance, when Obamacare was coming into office or whatever, a lot of the people fucking around here on the western side of Cincinnati, like sisters, like fucking nuns, they were very upset. The fucking parishes were upset because the Obamacare made a Catholic-run fucking hospitals like we have, Mercy Health, there's a lot of them around here. It made them perform abortions to fucking, if they were a Catholic-run hospital, a private-owned fucking hospital, and they took up issue with that. I don't think that as someone that goes against your religion, we have a freedom of a religion, I don't think if something directly goes against your religious belief that you should not have to do that. So now it brings us into this whole thing like, I'm a doctor. I don't necessarily agree with like transitioning or fucking giving someone a surgery of being trans. Now with this bill, it allows them to be like, you know what? I don't want to perform an opulation that I don't deem fucking right into my career.
Right. And I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it's like,
I don't either.
From I'm talking about from like
a
political, from an emergency standpoint, man, people should, like, you signed up to sacrifice for others and help others.
That's the point that I'm trying to make. I think people are taking a look at this bill and they're thinking that it's like, oh, now they're gonna fucking be able to just murder all the gay people, let all the gay people die, and fucking it's really there's a little bit more to it.
All this. Okay, I know.
Good luck.
All these bills going into place are like, I don't think any of these bills have actually passed yet. They're in the process of being passed.
I'd like to see more of the actual like wording of the law too,
because
there's been so many times where people like the don't say gay bill in Florida. That's not what the bill was at all. No. But that's what was all in the media was don't say gay.
We talked about that on this podcast about how it wasn't just that.
So I didn't actually.
And Bailey actually backed it.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. So like, I don't know what's exactly in that. Like, and I know like bills are like, like that's some like lawyer document shit where they're like,
some lawyer document.
Yeah,
shit.
I haven't read the bill.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so to like the first reaction to that shit is always like crazy depending on the side, and then like turns out sometimes like the actual bill is extreme.
It's taken out of context.
The thing is about another thing about these bills that are being passed is they're all against the LGBT community, and so I called my cousin and was like, hey, I don't live in Florida. I want to know what your stance is.
Like I just pointed out, the whole like doctor thing, I don't know if that goes against it. I don't think that these are necessarily targeting the LGBT community. I think the LGBT community is trying to fucking make it look like it's being forced against them.
I mean,
they have a tendency to do that.
I know, but there's also they're also trying to ban pride festivals in Florida.
In Florida,
yes.
I didn't know that.
Like they're targeting the LGBT
they
community.
passed some laws in Tennessee not long ago that were like that were
Tennessee,
drag bills.
Tennessee's a little less diverse than Florida, though, so that makes sense.
But so I mean, a lot of gay people live in Florida, like Miami. There's a lot of gay people in Miami. But
Florida is a very, very diverse fucking state. Fucking, it's Florida. It's one of the most populated.
It's a swing state.
And the bill against the doctor thing isn't just for LGBT. It's for black people. It's for Mexican people. It's for
white people potentially.
But that's why I take up issue with you saying that it all targets the LGBT community. It targets a lot more than just them.
No, I'm saying, but the bills that are being passed, a lot of them are targeting.
Allows discrimination. That's why I don't think like there's either something else going on in the bill or there's no way it'll get approved, because once you get to discrimination and you bring race into it, there's absolutely no way that's going to be, like that's like going back to pre-segregation shit. Like, and there's no way.
Jim Crow laws.
There's no way they're gonna allow that.
So I talked to my cousin and I was like, hey, have you experienced any discrimination? Like, I mean, I experienced discrimination as a gay person as well, but I was like, in the last year to 6 months, have you seen an uptick in gay discrimination or just in general? And he was like, well, I live in kind of a rural part of Florida. And I said, okay, because I know where he lives. But he was like, I got jumped a few months ago outside of a store by people calling me a faggot, and then they jumped me. And he's like, people keep saying that I didn't file a police report. I should have done that. And he was like, in Florida, a lot of the times it doesn't go to the way that you want it to go, because a lot of cops, a lot of people in Florida in rural places are for not gay people,
Well, in rural Florida, you're definitely going to get a lot of that. But at the same time, you're talking about you're talking about an example that is strictly one person that lives in fucking rural Florida.
Yes,
and
but
that's not necessarily
I went and got a source
whole.
from Florida, though.
Okay.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like, and he was like, no, he's like, it's crazy that you're calling me right now. I'm at a garage sale, and he said, this lesbian couple just came up and was talking with me and my boyfriend, and he said they have a transgender teenager, and the bills that are being passed, I guess the transgender teenager is getting a lot of shit in school for being trans, which, I mean, that everybody gets shit in school, but
not everybody. The bullies don't.
Well, they're getting
bullies get shit at home usually.
Everyone's hold on. Let her continue.
Yeah, my bad.
They're getting shit in school for being trans, and I was like, well, did you hear about this new law? And he goes, yes, they're really worried about it because this kid might get taken away from them. Yeah. And he's like, he's like, I don't know them personally, but right now they didn't seem like they were shitty parents. They seemed like they were trying to take care of their kid. Yeah. Which, that's where I have an issue. If you're not a shitty parent and you're trying to take care of your kid, you're trying to give your kid what they want and like be the best parent you can be, and then the Florida government's like, no.
But how does
fuck you? Your kid cannot be.
But how does this bill fucking go against that? How is this bill saying that he's not allowed to be transgender? From what I've been explained to it so far is that the issue is with parents trying to enforce their fucking own viewpoint of that.
No,
shit.
if you have a transgender kid, that's what I was saying. If you have a transgender kid that is a kid still, I mean, you're a kid till you're 18. So if you have a transgender kid that's in high school, which this kid is, the government can take your kid away from you.
As far as what being transgender, though, like that's what
there
I'm
has to be
about.
some stipulation that they have to be deemed non-competent in order to fucking take their kid away.
That's enough for them.
And you know what? If there isn't, and fucking Florida is able to pass that, and the federal government doesn't step in and do that, then as a transgender or gay person that might be persecuted against that, you need to get the fuck out of Florida.
Well, that's what what
that sucks,
saying.
but that's the way the world
No,
works.
that's what he was
Correct,
saying.
yeah.
They were thinking about moving out of Florida because of that reason.
There you go.
But why should you have to uproot your life? Say I don't know how long they've lived there, but say that you shouldn't have to uproot your whole family to get away from tyranny.
That's life, unfortunately.
Listen, you shouldn't, but that doesn't mean that doesn't happen to regular people who aren't transgender every fucking day.
Or people who weren't lucky enough to be born in America.
Give me an example of in the United States where someone had to uproot their life because of
Elon.
Shit, we can talk about that. We can go all the way back in history. The Trail of Tears is uprooting Indians and shit.
We're not talking about
we're talking
way
about
back in
now.
history. We're talking about present day. We are a lot more civilized than we were back then.
You shouldn't have to, but it happens.
So we can bring up the whole abortion thing and stuff like that, and how it's going by state government now, and what's going on. There's a lot of people that live in fucking a non-tolerant state, like I think Virginia is one like that.
I mean, but
there are people who fucking are going to have to uproot from that state because they don't believe in that, because they so to their core believe in that they have to get the fuck out of there.
Or not get pregnant.
The fact of the matter is,
but that's also another
laws
controversial
change
thing.
and things happen.
Right.
Sometimes
Everything.
if you don't agree with what your state is doing or where you're living,
You're
either
willing to
move
move
or fucking do something about it.
There's been a mass exodus from
Or deal with
California
it.
because people don't agree with the laws there. Like people have been moving out
Right.
of California
Absolutely.
left and fucking right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It happens all the time. And they don't have to, but at that point fight for what you believe in, and not when people are willing to do
Can
that.
I say something about your cousin real quick? He should have filed a police report, and the police should not have looked at that as you know what, this guy is gay, so we're gonna feel this.
We don't know that.
Hold
it didn't
on,
happen.
but she's saying it's that's typically how they get treated.
Yeah, he's taking it from past
experience. If that is
not just him being like.
all I'm saying is,
I get that.
And he's not some woke.
Let Mike speak.
Thank
let
you.
Mike speak. Yeah.
If that is indeed the case, that's not right. Okay, if that is indeed the case, if that's true, he should have filed a police report and shouldn't have been looked at any other way as someone jumped this person and something needs to be done to the person who jumped him.
Yeah.
Period.
Okay.
No, I agree.
Now here's
throwing out everything else. That's just the law.
Now here's what I have to say about that. I will give Bailey the credit to that. In rural Florida, as a gay person, they're probably not going to take you that seriously. And also, as just a regular human, if I go out and I'm an OTR and I get jumped and I can call the cops, but if they have no information about who it was that jumped me, then I'm going to get treated.
But if outside of a store, there should probably be cameras that are.
That's true. He could have done a little bit more, and I get that. But I do understand. I do understand the whole rural Florida. They're probably not going to do much for a gay person.
Yeah.
I don't know the environment he lives in, but it's not fair.
The bills that they're passing is also bringing the people that do not support gays, which they're out there. I know, it's fine. You can believe whatever the fuck you want to believe, but the bills that are being passed are bringing those to light more, and they think they have more of a power over gay people now. Okay. Because they are the government says I can do whatever the fuck I want. That's not all right.
No,
the government shouldn't be doing this.
It's not all right. But then again, talking about Jack before when leaking documents, and he's going to be the only one who gets arrested for that shit. That's not right either.
Not right
our government is fucked.
Our government is fucked, and I will agree with that.
Ding,
it does suck, but at the same time, there are things that you can do to get around it. And if you're really such a big proponent of Florida that you need to stay there, that's one thing, but do something about it. That's all we really can.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like sitting next to you.
And do something violently. Do something violently.
I mean, you know.
That's when riots start. That's when.
That's how shit gets done. No change. No fucking pure core change has ever happened to any type of government or systematic fucking entity in the entire history of the human race without fucking violence.
Well,
nothing.
Nothing.
Why can't we just all love each other?
Violence isn't going to solve certain issues.
But you can eradicate. But you can eradicate the people who fucking don't agree with you, and at that point you're fucking right. That's how the entire of history fucking has worked.
It's just a bunch of gay people.
What is it?
Guns.
Girls versus guys?
We're